I'm BrigantiaBlackbird of Blackbird's Brew. Happy Saturday and welcome to Wicca 101. This week we're going to talk about meeting deity. The primary job of religion is to provide people with a method and a means with which to connect to the divine, and Wicca is no different in this respect, albeit it is a little bit more complicated for us. As you've known from previous classes, Wicca does acknowledge a primary god and goddess, but how individuals interpret the god and goddess, this varies quite a bit. Some people consider them to be essentially one being, and that we only perceive a god and a goddess because it makes it a little bit easier for our minds to relate to them, makes it more manageable for us. But there are others who see the god and goddess as completely separate and independent beings, but that within the god there is every god that we have ever known about from antiquity, and within the goddess there's every goddess we've ever known. And this would mean that individual deities are just aspects of the larger god and goddess. Another popular thought is that there's essentially just one pantheon of individual god and goddesses that we know, but they happen to be called by different names by different peoples throughout the world. Then we have the theory that I personally subscribe to, is that the god and the goddess are the original pair, and all the gods and the pantheons that we know about are their descendants, and we in turn are the descendants of the ancient pantheons and peoples. Still other people will tell you that the gods are archetypes or metaphors or thought forms, and it could very well be that the ultimate truth of the matter is something that's beyond our current comprehension, and neither I nor anyone else can or should tell you what to believe. And this isn't a question that can be adequately answered just by research alone. It does come down to faith, and that faith is built upon your experiences and impressions just as much as anything that you have ever been told and read. Now, I don't say any of this to try to put anyone off from seeking divine connections or trying to figure out who's who and what it all means. On the contrary, I just hope to impress upon anyone who's watching this that you won't have an answer immediately. You are not going to find yourself believing in something automatically, and contemplating this isn't something you can just, scratch off the to-do list, in the course of an afternoon. It takes time. That's a natural process, and it is a necessary process. So now that we've acknowledged that a pagan and a specifically Wiccan view of deity is not exactly a straightforward matter, let's spend a few minutes talking about how deity might choose to make itself known and communicate to us. This will be based off of my own experiences, what other published pagan authors have written, and what various pagans I've spoken with over the years have reported for themselves. Now, to begin with, there is always something of the gods around us. Now, whether you are an animist or you view things as having a connection to a specific deity, either way, the fingerprints of the gods are everywhere around us, and I do mean everywhere and everything. Within people, the flora and fauna of the world, every rock, land and sea, the air we breathe, and every spark of fire, divine energy is immanent in nature, and all things exist within the natural world. We are enveloped by their presence. And this, of course, works to our advantage because the gods are not hiding from us, and there are plenty of breadcrumbs that can lead us right to them. So being aware of the plants, the animals, and crystals commonly associated with specific deities can be quite useful in helping us narrow down what deity might be around, or perhaps would even welcome our attention. Reading mythology is also invaluable when we seek to connect with deity. It gives us a sense of the personality of the god or the goddess that we're trying to contact, or who may be contacting us. Dreams, meditation, divination, these are all common ways to seek out signs, but I have also found that signs can be found in everyday, mundane occurrences. A casual conversation, which there's just one sentence out of it that just hits you on a deeper level, and your intuition is telling you that there's a greater meaning to explore there. Or there could be a very ordinary occurrence that just takes place at a peculiar moment. There's a lightning in a clear sky, or you hear a bird call of a species that's dormant during this part of the day, or you are suddenly encountering names or images or ideas repeatedly, conspicuously, and you can feel that you need to pay attention because there's more going on than what meets the eye. You can see how this becomes a true exercise for your intuitive senses. Now, what about efforts that we can make to reach out? I want to emphasize this because it's our responsibility to demonstrate with words and deeds that we actually want to have a relationship with the deity. It shouldn't just be all up to them. And putting in the work, that makes a better impression, and it's a good practice because if you do make a connection with deity, there's every possibility that God or goddess is going to want you to do things that they believe will aid your spiritual development. And it's quite bad form to declare that you want to learn from and work with a god, and then the moment the deity shows up and provides guidance, suddenly you become lazy and uncooperative. Just not a good idea to go that route. Now, of course, we can start small, just forming the simple habit of greeting the day and greeting the night, and journaling about how we perceive projective, aka masculine energy, and receptive, aka feminine energy, how that's operating in the world, and the various forms in which we see it take. That can teach us a lot about the ebb and flow between the goddess and the god, and giving small offerings, expressing gratitude for the lessons you've received and the lessons you've yet to discover. If we're seeking to contact a specific deity, we begin by learning all that we can about that god or goddess, their mythology, what their devotees have to say about working with them. And we can find this in videos and blogs, their magical correspondences, offerings that this god or goddess has been known to accept, everything we can find out about them. Make notes and include your questions in these notes. And once you have a preliminary understanding of the personage that you may be dealing with, you can perform a ritual expressing a wish to benefit from their wisdom, bring them a gift, and continue learning, meditating, and honoring them until you get a sense of whether or not this deity has decided to work with you. And of course, don't forget to work on yourself. The gods are not fools. They know whether we are a dreamer or a doer. And connecting a deity, it isn't about just, getting this little feather in our cap and, aren't we so special and advanced? No, 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 no. It's about bringing ourselves into alignment with our true purpose in life and learning, going through a process of refinement that makes us better practitioners and better human beings. If we show that we are working towards being the person that we can be and ought to be, and we're going to stick with that process through thick and thin, that will begin our work with deities on a better footing and will also be a sign of good faith. So, homework for May 28th through June 3rd. First, examine where you are in relation to the gods. Has contact already been made? Do you feel a nudge to learn more about a specific deity? Have you yet to reach out to them? Journal about your current status, whatever it is. Then 2, if you don't already have a developing relationship with a deity, is there someone you are interested in that you think would have a lot to teach you that would help you in your current situation in life? Then do your research. And if you do have an established relationship with a deity, how is that progressing? Are you cooperating with the issues that your god or goddess have indicated that you need to work on? Make adjustments if needed. And 3, are there any deities that you would feel uncomfortable with if they did show up in your life? Journal about who they are and why their presence would give you pause. Do some research and try to find out if your concerns are well-founded or not. And that's where we will leave it for this week. Next week, I believe we will begin our unit on the chakras. We'll be looking at one chakra per week, so I hope you will stick with me through that process. But that will do for now. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, please leave them in the comment section below. Or even better, come see us on Discord at Blackbird's Brew. There's a link in the description box below. And there's a specific channel where I post the links for each and every single one of the Wicca 101 classes, and then beneath that I have a channel called Study Hall. If you're wanting to do something specific with that class, just reach out to me there and we can talk about whatever it is you need to talk about. So, hope to hear from you soon. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.